So would you tell us your name?
I am Robert Edward Shelor.
Sure.
Originally, I'm from Georgia. I grew up in what was Clayton County. It was a semi-rural area now. It's been completely absorbed by Atlanta, but when I grew up, it was cotton fields and peach orchards. I went into the Marines. I went in September of 1976, September 20th to be precise. I went in because I had basically failed at everything else I'd tried to do. And I knew, it was almost like divine intervention. I said, I've got to get out of this town. I've got to go and do something completely different. And at the time I was living in Macon. There was no French Foreign Legion office recruiting in Macon, so I went down to the Marines, and I went in, and it's been uphill ever since. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made. Yeah. So I go in as a private, I get out as a lieutenant colonel, and I got to go to places you cannot imagine. India, Bosnia, Germany, Korea. I'm a Korean linguist. That's my primary duties. I was in Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, Taiwan. The list goes on and on. In about 11 years of it, I was based in Hawaii. So what's funny is while I was in Hawaii, some other guy was probably off in Iceland. Sorry. I wasn't there for a paycheck. You wouldn't put up with the stuff you do and go in harm's way the way we did. No amount of money makes... What's your life worth to you? How much would I have to pay you to give up your life? So you don't do it for the money. You do it because it's a call. I was an NSA guy. So we were collecting signals intelligence against foreign countries. Primarily, obviously, North Korea, because I'm a Korean linguist. I was in the Marines for 24 years. As I said, I went in a private, got out as a lieutenant colonel. Deployed roughly, it depends on how you count, maybe, well, let me put it this way. About 20 of those 24 years, I was outside the continental United States. Now, when I say I was in Hawaii for 11 years, that was my base. And from Hawaii, I would deploy to Korea. That's where I was in Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, Australia, Thailand. I went to Thailand twice, jumped out of airplanes with the Thai Special Forces. We were trying to, my cover was Foreign Service Officer. I was one deep. I was there by myself. I was in Kashmir, and my job was to try to get a U.S. hostage released. We did not succeed. Gunshots and bomb blasts every day. I mean, it was more exciting than Disney World. You'd hear a grenade go off, or you'd hear gunshots, or some artillery was firing, checking their guns, and airplanes and helicopters flying along the DMZ. And I volunteered. I'd go back every chance I got. And then I went over there and spent 2 years as a liaison officer at their Ministry of National Defense. And I would go up and visit the DMZ. I mean, it was exciting. It was intense. Yeah. You really learn to savor life. One of the best Christmases I ever had was I was living in a tent on the DMZ, sitting on a little hilltop with a platoon of Republic of Korea soldiers, looking at the North Koreans. No lights, no songs, no commercialism, no nothing. I'm very happy with the years that I spent in. It has opened up huge amounts of doors for me. It unfolded in a way that I could never have dreamed. I wouldn't change anything about it. I never got wounded. We got scuffed up jumping out of airplanes. In the movies they come in and they land and there's a little tap on the ground. Yeah. No. It's like jumping from about almost from the height of this ceiling, and you hit the ground like a sack of potatoes. Bam. I think it was a sense of service and a sense of duty, a sense of purpose. You remember what Ronald Reagan said about the Marines? He said most people go through their lives wondering if they ever meant anything or if anything ever mattered. He said the Marines don't have that problem. What you see on Hollywood and the stuff you see in the movies is Hollywood's version of the military.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm the wrong guy to go see a war movie with. We were deployed. You'd never had downtime. You didn't have weekends. So when we were at sea on board ships, or if we were sitting on the DMZ of Korea, it was day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, until you came home. There were times of great intensity, and then there were times when we got to go surfing. I regret it. I wish that we could stop this inhumanity to man's inhumanity to
How did it
man,
work
but
out?
we're not.
I heard some other people.
As much as I wish we would, no, I do not foresee peace breaking out and the world becoming a good place.